Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, out here in contact with the Biden administration on maybe helping out with the ongoing banking crisis. I think I saw some people were kind of tracking like private jets in and out of Omaha to various regional banks over the weekend as well. That was an interesting development on crypto Twitter. But obviously Warren Buffett is being asked by maybe both sides of the aisle here, one being the banking sector and one being the political apparatus, to lend a hand and potentially to get some deals done that could benefit his Berkshire Hathaway empire. Anyway, interesting thing here that Warren Buffett is in talks with the Biden administration. I'm going to toss this to Wendy, who is sighing very loudly. I think she has some thoughts on this one. And maybe
Conflict of interest, anyone? Conflict of interest? Isn't this what kind of got us in the predicament that we're in? Is everybody's in each other's pockets, giving each other advice, saying, hey, you should do this, hey, you should do that, and not disclosing that they're in partnership with XYZ or doing whatever it is. Again, it's just a bunch of ivory towers that are making choices for the American people. Yes, Warren has done well. He's wealthy. Good for him. Congratulations. But at the same time, I will repeat this. These people are so detached from actual reality. They are so detached from the underdogs. They're detached from the poor, lower middle class, and even upper middle class, that it's becoming ridiculous. Like all of the tax increases that we're seeing, all of these bailouts we're seeing, all of the predatory practices from the banks that we're seeing, it's all impacting the taxpayers. It's impacting us. And it's just getting really ridiculous and so tiresome at this point. Like, honestly, I really don't care what Warren has to say. He is so outdated. Let's get some new, fresh minds in here. Let's see how that we can fix this. I don't know. Maybe DeFi can fix what's happening with the current banking industry. All I know is that banks are not required to show proof of reserves. We simply have to trust them. But crypto exchanges are now starting to do that, and it's all on chain to verify. Let's go ahead and merge banks over into the crypto industry and make them show proof of reserve so we know exactly what is happening when it is happening in real time. Well,
kind of like how Zach brought up the airplane tracker. That's making me think like on-chain whale alerts is very similar to like us tracking airplanes for billionaires flying in and out of Omaha. It's like a weird similarity there, but just TradFi versus like on-chain stuff. But to your point, Wendy, like I think this is like another sign of centralization in the banking sector. There's a lot of people concerned about commercial banks and smaller banks, like the regional banks, having issues with depositors. If I'm a depositor with over 250K over that insurance level from the FDIC, or if a bank doesn't have an insurance policy that's greater than that, well, then it makes sense for me to go somewhere else where I know that my banking deposits are going to be secure. Like, it's a very simple line of logic. I don't think there's like a lot that needs to be explained there. If I can be safe with my money somewhere else, I'm going to move it somewhere else. And that's what's going to occur. And the downside, of course, like all these commercial banks, these retail banks, these mom and pop banks that exist all over the United States that service small businesses, that service little services, that service farmers, that service small communities, they're going to disappear if their depositors disappear. So if we have centralization in the banking sector, then we really do lose this entire credit creation process in the United States. We see entrepreneurship die off, we see businesses die off. It's going to become a lot less beneficial to the average person who's trying to open up a bank account. It's going to be very hard to get JP Morgan on the phone to fix your $50 issue. So I see that happening if we continue to move down this line. And that's really why the Biden administration is calling up Warren Buffett and calling up others in the banking sector, because they don't want that to happen either, right? And they're trying to fix it with the tools they have on hand. Unfortunately, the problem is a lot deeper. The root of the issue resides in the dollar and the systems that we've had for 20, 30, 40 years. Doesn't really reside in Omaha, and the fix definitely does not reside in Omaha. So we'll see what happens there. But I don't know. I kind of like seeing Warren Buffett in the headlines again here. Zach, thoughts?
What if like Warren Buffett is like the TradFi equivalent of Justin Sun, right? It's like, something happens. And
I went to that lunch, by the way, or that dinner.
You were there? Oh man,
I got to go, but they were both of them weren't there, so they sent a bunch of us out there. It was really fun. I ate some good food and drank really delicious wine.
It was the famous kidney stones episode for those scoring at home. It is funny to see Warren Buffett involved here. And I think it makes sense, I guess, from a political calculus, right? If you're really scared about taxpayer money being involved to backstop the financial system, then yeah, you probably want to call in some potential favors from Warren Buffett and other gigabillionaires who can step in and maybe profit without exposing taxpayers to some of the downside. It's definitely somewhat self-interested. There's definitely potentially some conflicts there. But hey, this is just a report from Bloomberg at present. We'll see what materializes. But Wendy, what do you think?
So are they like having Warren go in to consult because he knows how to use all the tax loopholes and basically pay no taxes?
I mean, he's done it before. He's done.
Hopefully.
I don't think that's specifically it, but he's done stuff like this before with B of A, with other people following the 2008 financial crisis. So he is sort of that, the private answer to what otherwise.
So
would
you have like
involve public dollars.
102-year-old geriatric guy in there giving financial advice. That is so like hip. So
He hasn't missed yet. Charlie
Charlie
or
Munger.
not, he has not missed.
Shout out. Rat poison squared.